You were welcomed onto the stage here by Margaret Aspinall, Hillsborough campaigner, who praised you for the Hillsborough law, which she said would make sure there are no more cover-ups in this country. And on Breakfast last week, we heard from another group who've been campaigning for justice and compensation and recognition, the nuclear veterans, military veterans. And one of them had a message for you. I wonder whether we could play it to you.
Yes, of course.
His name is John Morris, and this is what he had to say.
Keir promised he would meet us. I will definitely meet him. And I'm warning you, Keir, I will be around. And if I'm not around, my family will be around and follow you through. I have had pernicious anemia since 26. I've had cancer, and I have a bone marrow deficiency.
That's top.
Will you meet him?
Of course I will. I've actually met some of the veterans before because they've suffered a real injustice. I met them before the election. I'm very happily...
They said you'd promised to meet them if you were Prime Minister, and they've been trying to get in touch and heard nothing.
Well, I don't know anything about that, but I will now follow up. I will meet John. I have met the veterans before. That is no reason not to meet them again. I met Margaret Aspinall probably best part of 15 years ago. I met her many times in the intervening years. I follow through on injustice, and with the Hillsborough law, we were able to deliver on a promise that we made. And so I'll more than happily meet. And thank you for pushing that on so we can have that meeting.
When will you meet him? He says he's getting older and he's not very well, and he'd like it to happen soon. I mean, by the end of the year?
As soon as we can.
End of the year?
Well, as soon as we can, and hopefully by the end of the year, yes. I mean, I'm not pushing back on that. I have met them before. I'll happily meet them again.
Prime Minister, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Well, joining us now on the sofa is the nuclear testing veteran, John Morris, whose clip I played there to the Prime Minister. John, he'll meet you. What do you think?
It's wonderful to hear. The sad part is I've listened to 8 Prime Ministers since John Major. Most of them have promised did meet us. The question is when? In 1998, I'm still waiting for an answer. Now, I think I'm pretty patient. So I would like to say to Keir, and I will say this, he was the very first the very first minister that met us, and that was in 2021. I believe the man is very, very sincere, and I believe he will meet us.
I tried to push him on when, because I know that's really important to you, that you have a definite kind of date in the diary. Obviously, he can't set a date in the diary in the TV interview, but he seemed to be suggesting that he'd do it before the end of the year if possible. But does that work for you?
If I see him before the end of the year, I will suggest that will be a miracle. There was one particular thing that he did say. He was unaware that we'd been trying to get in touch with him. And that is the fact of the establishment. The establishment are stopping messages getting through that they think, the establishment, the Minister, the Prime Minister, will not want to hear.
Well, he's definitely got that message because John gave it to him on the television. We've all seen it now live on BBC One. And I'm delighted to say we're also joined now by Alan Owen from Liverpool. And Alan is the founder of the charity Lab Rats, which represents veterans, scientists, civilians and their families across the world who have been affected by the nuclear testing programme. Morning to you, Alan. I just want your response to what we heard there from the Prime Minister.
Well, yesterday at the Labour Party conference, we met the Deputy Prime Minister, and that meeting was arranged within 48 hours. We've met with Al Carnes, the previous Veterans Minister, and we had communication with John Healey, the Secretary of State for Defence, and have been working really hard with him. But I cannot believe that the establishment and the Cabinet Office cannot see a message that has been going out for the last year, and a Twitter video on X now that is nearly on 9 million views that they are tagged in every day, for him to say, I'm not aware of it. That just shows how John says how much the establishment is blocking us from getting to the very top. Because as we proved in the past with the medal campaign in 2022, when you get it to the top and you hear the stories like you've heard, you will understand that this scandal needs to be ended. We were on a panel yesterday with Andy Burnham, and he said, with the Hillsborough law, as we heard Margaret's amazing speech, she's an amazing woman, the speech, we now have a level playing field. And I know the law's not been put in place yet, but it gives us the spirit and it gives us the chance to end this scandal. And if he will meet with us by the end of the year and he will hear us out for a decent amount of time and give us the time for us to go again with Steve and with John, because John's met him before with me, and sit and listen to us, he will end this scandal, and I hope he will do.
Alan, we'll come back to you in a second. John, let's go to the next point then. This meeting is going to happen with the Prime Minister. What are you going to tell him? What do you now want him to do?
A long time ago, I met a man called Joe Gormley. He used to be the miners' union leader. Joe said, the best way is not to argue, but to communicate. And that is all we want to do. We want to sit with Keir and talk a way through. The last thing I want to do is cost the taxpayer millions of pounds in a court case. I will be 90 and they want me to go to a court of law when in 1956 I helped, along with 22,000 others, to provide England with a nuclear weapon, and we have been treated with disdain. I find it so disappointing. I believe in England. I believe in this Prime Minister. Prime Minister, give us a chance to talk to you, please.
And Alan, when you met the Deputy Prime Minister yesterday, and obviously you were very much involved in conference yesterday, what was the reaction to you there? What were people saying?
The Prime Minister, the Deputy Prime Minister, was very receptive. He listened to everything we had to say. He said, listen, we are listening. And he did say, I get it. You're campaigning for many, many years on this. And I'm hoping that we already have the solution for Keir Starmer. It's a very simple solution. It's a one-year special tribunal inquiry that he can set up almost immediately. As John said, the average age is now 87, and we need to see it through. We have the solutions. We've got them all mapped out, ready for him. All we need to do is sit there with the correct people. We've given the Secretary of State for Defence a year to do a records review. That records review report is due out by the end of the year. He knows what's in that records review, and he knows the evidence that we have that these men were irradiated and health and safety was not followed at all time. He already has that evidence. We know that. And we can sit with Keir and say, right, what are we going to do about it? We have the solution. What can you do for us? That's the key thing. It's working together, working with the right people to get the right output and to end this 73-year scandal. I'm about to go to the National Memorial Arboretum to lay a wreath at the British Nuclear Test Veteran Memorial for those that have not made it this far.
Alan.
Today, I will remember them.
Alan, thank you very much indeed. Really powerful words, and best wishes for today. Thank you for joining us on Breakfast Before You Go. And John, of course, good to see you.
Thank you.
I was just thinking, it's exactly a week ago, isn't it, that you were all here, all of you here, for that special part of the programme, Breakfast, calling for a meeting with the Prime Minister. I'm glad we've been able to nail it down today, and hopefully we'll get a date in the diary and we'll come with you, maybe.
Yeah. Thank you, BBC, and thank you, Lab Rats, for the support. And can I say thank you to cross-party MPs, cross-party, who are backing our cause. Please, Keir, please meet us. That's all we ask. It's not a lot.
I love the way you've worked out which camera's live and you can send them another message.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Thank you.